Okay, let's talk about Bad Bunny's 2026 Super Bowl performance, because this wasn't just another halftime show. Not even close. It was a complete cultural reset. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this one moment redefined one of the biggest stages in entertainment and sent a message that went way, way beyond that stadium.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. A spectacular cultural milestone. It wasn't just a big show, it was a milestone. So the big question we're digging into in this explainer is why? What was it about this performance that made it so incredibly significant?
All right, first things first, we have to understand the history that was being made in real time. This wasn't just another huge star on another huge stage. No, this was about completely shattering a barrier on a scale the Super Bowl had literally never seen before.
I mean, just let this sink in. For the very first time ever, a solo Latino artist headlined the halftime show. Think about that for a second. The biggest platform in American entertainment and a barrier that had been there for decades was finally broken. That is a monumental achievement with so much historical weight behind it.
So let's just set the scene properly. The date, February 8th, 2026. The place, Levi Stadium out in California. And the context? Well, it's just one of the most watched television events on the entire planet. So this wasn't just a concert, it was a broadcast to the entire world.
Now let's go inside those 13 minutes. Those 13 minutes that actually made history. Because look, it's one thing to get the stage, but it's a totally different thing to own it. And the choices Bad Bunny made in that tiny window of time were just so incredibly powerful.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it was all so audacious. You've got just 13 minutes, and what does he do? He performs almost the entire thing in Spanish. On a broadcast that's mostly in English, that is such a bold, unapologetic statement. Then he brings out global superstars like Lady Gaga and the legend himself, Ricky Martin, kind of bridging cultures. And he wraps it all up with this powerful, unifying message.
And that brings us to the absolute heart of the show. This was never just about the songs. It was a deliberate, vibrant, and powerful tribute to his Puerto Rican roots. You could feel that every single element was intentional, Like it was all designed to put this rich cultural identity on the world stage for everyone to see. He literally filled the entire stage with these cinematic visuals of sugarcane fields, which is a direct nod to Puerto Rico's history. You had dancers in traditional clothing all over the stage, and these thematic references that celebrated the resilience of the community. This wasn't just some cool background imagery, it was storytelling. A full-throated celebration of his heritage broadcast to a global audience.
So, the lights go down, the show is over. What happens next? Well, the performance created these immediate and really powerful ripple effects. So let's take a look at how the world reacted, because the impact was huge, and it was felt on a bunch of different fronts, both inside the community and across the entire entertainment world.
And you can really see this two-pronged effect right here. For the Latino community, this was just embraced as this unbelievable moment of pride, of visibility. It was a true celebration. But then, for mainstream entertainment, it was like a catalyst. It pushed the whole conversation about cultural representation right to the forefront and proved, without a doubt, the global power of Latin music.
So, when all is said and done, what's the lasting legacy of this thing? It's kind of amazing to think that one 13-minute show can have such a huge impact. But this one, it absolutely redefined what was even possible on a global stage.
At the end of the day, the performance was a definitive statement. It wasn't asking for a seat at the table, it was building a whole new one. It just underscored the undeniable global dominance of Latin music and shoved the conversation about cultural representation forward in a way you just couldn't ignore.
And I think that's the real takeaway here. This performance proved that a stage is so much more than a platform. It's a lever for real cultural change. And if just 13 minutes can create a shift this big, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What stage is next?